Smiley from the Energy Boutique with your energy forecast for Saturday, March 26th. So today we are going to see the moon move out of this very low, very slow, very earth focused energy of the roles and responsibilities that we got going on here in our lives from that Capricorn energy. Of course, that Capricorn energy, we just had our last quarter moon in Capricorn, really providing us with a good focus, a good amount of clarity on what it is that we need to wrap up before we can jump into something new. Again, we are in this brand new calendar, this brand new energy, this brand new season, but many of us are still very confused, lacking the details, lacking the strategy, lacking the direction forward. And again, we likely will not become super clear on that until the new moon in Aries. So today we have the moon moving out of Capricorn energy and into Aquarian energy. Anytime the moon moves out of Capricorn and into Aquarius, we definitely feel lighter. We definitely move out of the physical realm. We try to get a little bit more in our heads in order to focus on the future. Sometimes we need to dream up a new vision, a new kind of goal for ourselves, see what it is that we want to be working towards, get that vision so freaking hard in our mind, and then use the methodology of breaking that down into small, manageable pieces to see how it is that we can actually get from where it is that we're currently at to that vision of where it is that we want to be. Now, this Aquarian energy is very emotionally detached, which at this particular point isn't a bad thing. We need to act as the observer with the Aquarian energy. We need to kind of detach from our own personal thoughts and emotions and circumstances and see things from a higher perspective. And because of this, we are definitely going to have a lot of aha moments. We're definitely going to have a new awakening, a new perspective, a new focus of sorts, which is really going to help this piecing together, this new direction process, all in good time. So also we have the very last day that Mercury will be in Pisces. And again, Mercury being in Pisces has done wonders for our intuition, for our dreams, for our creativity, but not so good with communication, not so good with piecing together some logical, practical steps on the vision in which we want to manifest. So because today is the last day of Mercury being in Pisces, we do have to expect a little bit of pressure on the mental plane. And it's probably going to leave us feeling a little bit spaced out, a little bit confused, a little bit vague and wish-washy, not only with our thoughts, but with the way that we're actually choosing to communicate and express ourselves. The moon will be void from about 7:52 p.m. to 8:56 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And you're right, that's a very, very short amount of time for the moon to be void. Of course, we're not going to complain about it though, because of course, when the moon is void, things get shaky, things get unstable, and things definitely start getting bumpy. So it's a good thing that we have a very small gap of the moon being void until it locks into Aquarian energy. So there are 10 different aspects taking place here today, and 9 of them involve the moon. We have the moon bumping into Venus, and this is not the nicest way, but let me tell you, it is absolutely necessary. We do need a little bit of a refresher course. As you may know, Venus moved into Capricorn energy towards the end of November, spent all of December, better part of January in that Capricorn energy, and most of that time was retrograde. Venus needed to go into the underworld and really humble herself, get real with her own self-worth, with her own confidence, with her own wants, needs, and desires. She recognized her relationship values. She recognized where she's been pouring into relationships that have never poured into her. And she had some very profound realizations on the energy exchange dynamics that needed to change in her physical realm if she was going to free herself of involving herself with lower vibrational frequency relationships. Now, Venus has been out of Capricorn for some time. She has been out of her retrograde for some time. But now that we are in a brand new calendar, a brand new chapter, a brand new energy, now she's looking to take action. So we do have to kind of remind ourselves of those darker days that we've experienced over the last couple of months where our emotions were very confusing, where trying to figure out what it is that we needed to do for ourselves to feel safe, to feel secure, to feel loved and encouraged and supported in our personal relationships were concerned. And now this is kind of like a reminder that is going to create a little bit of confusion and truly illuminate where it is that our ego self is a little bit overly attached to some of the elements that we intuitionally know that we have to detach from. The moon is going to bump into Jupiter in a very positive way. This is going to illuminate for us, yes, where we're scared to detach from some of the people, places, things, identities, labels, jobs, whatever the circumstances may be that we are stuck in, but where it is that is absolutely necessary for our own soul's evolution, for our own spiritual growth, in order to actually boss up and step away from the things that we know are keeping us in a state of paralysis. This is going to lead us to a very deep spiritual and karmic understanding. It is helping us to renew our faith, to renew our hope, to really kind of level us up to a new belief system on why it is that we are being faced with some of the challenges in which we're currently being faced with. And the moon is going to go ahead and bump into Saturn, who again rules over the Capricorn energy, which is going to put a lot of friction, a lot of tension, a lot of conflict in our external realms to show us where it is that we are being provided with opportunities to boss up, to move forward, to take control over our emotions, over our headspace, and then in turn, our physical realms. Now, yes, negative Nancy could come out to play, but again, this is just offering us an opportunity on seeing where the dark force agenda is working at overtime speeds to keep us in those negative frequencies and negative vibrations, and where it is that we now have the spiritual enlightenment, the spiritual power within us to see that agenda working very clearly, and where it is that we have the power and wisdom to overwrite that system. Mercury, the only aspect that does not involve the moon here today, is going to sextile Pluto. So Mercury is in Pisces. Okay, so this is karma, this is spiritual contracts, this is intuition, this is healing, this is dreams, this is creativity. With Pluto, the great transformer, using the darker experiences in life, the pain, the trauma, the suffering, in order to push us into our place of power, of control, of authority, to make the kind of changes and transformations in our lives that we 100% know that we need to do. Now, Pluto is in Capricorn energy, has been since 2008. This is a big deal because we are essentially dismantling the controlling agendas, the masculine structures and systems that want to dominate, that want to have power, that want to have control over us. Mercury bumping into Pluto in this way is like our mental plane, because Mercury rules over the mental plane, our mental plane finally absorbing some of the higher intellectual knowledge coming in from the cosmos, coming in from our higher selves, which is very much ruled over that Piscean energy, and seeing the layers of a situation actually be peeled back for a deeper, broader perspective and spiritual understanding. Suddenly, we see the connection. Suddenly, we see where circumstances and situations had to happen in order to align us with the present moment that is currently prepping us for our future selves, for the future blessings, for the future rewards. This is like an aha moment deep in our heart, deep in our psyche, deep in our soul, where we recognize the spiritual purpose behind some of the tough love life situations that are pushing us into our soul's growth. Now, is this going to feel good? Well, for some of us, yeah, because we've been searching for a deeper meaning, a deeper purpose, a deeper answer to the comings and goings of the hardships and obstacles of our lives. And for some of us, it isn't going to feel good. It is going to feel like a shock to the system. but it is 100% needed for us to kind of bring a closing point to some of the cycles that we're moving away from, so that we can definitely move forward in a very fast, very quick way under the new moon in Aries, when we essentially get to cut the cord from that Piscean energy that we're still very influenced under, and where it is that we get to detach from those spiritual lessons, wrap them up, and enter into a brand new chapter, a brand new forum. So the moon goes ahead and sextiles Neptune. This is us in alignment with our higher selves, with our intuition, with our heart, with our soul, especially after that awakening, that aha moment, that spiritual enlightenment situation that we just had. This is where we start to feel hopeful again. This is where we start to align with our futuristic vision again, because we know that it's possible. We have a better understanding of the past, which changes the energy that we're currently standing in the present, which totally changes our abilities to manifest some possible situations for the future. The moon trines the true node, our destiny point, in this way, helping us to understand past events, helping us to understand that without those past events, we would never be the version of ourselves that we're currently at. And why is that important? Because we need to be the version that we're currently embodying as of right now, in order to stand firm in this present moment and understand the changes that we are about to go through, in order to be the individuals that we need to be to receive the dreams, the visions, the blessings, the prayers that we've been praying for. This is going to provide us with, yes, a lot of clarity, a different standing point, different understanding of all the things that have already taken place. It is going to provide us with a lot of clarity on where it is that we're currently standing. And it is going to give us a couple of the puzzle pieces on what it is that we want to do moving forward in the future. The moon goes ahead and bumps into the sun. Anytime this happens, this is like an overlap between the old versus the new, between the emotional versus the determination that we have to have in our ego identity in the here and now. It's very much the ego versus the spirit, the past versus the future. And what we find is this awkward adjustment period in the here and now, where we don't know who we are because we're letting go of the qualities and characteristics that had us stuck in certain timelines, certain relationships, certain situations in the past, and we haven't yet embodied the qualities and characteristics, the energy, the soul life lessons that we need coming into our future selves. This is always a gap. This is always very kind of awkward for us to stand in, but it does illuminate for us what it is that we are letting go of and creating space for, and what it is that we are creating that space for, in order to have that space for new elements within ourselves to be reborn. The moon is going to conjunct Pluto. This means that the moon is transiting through Capricorn. It comes up to the exact degree that Pluto is at. They sit together. This is highly emotional. This is also highly emotionally transformative. Our psychological perspective is changing. Our heart space is changing. Our spiritual understanding is changing. This is an opportunity for us to heal some of the wounds from some of the pain, some of the trauma that has taken place, that we are disconnecting from, understanding that there's a higher spiritual meaning, a higher spiritual purpose to some of the pain and suffering that we just had to go through. Is it fair? No. Does it feel good? No. Is it for our highest interest of our soul's evolution? 100%. That's why the soul contract was in place, in order for it to happen. This is going to be an intense shift in our heart space, in our head space, getting us in a different vibe, a different perspective, in order for us to let go of the past, in order for us to start fresh, moving forward into the future. The moon is going to sextile Mercury, ruler of the mental plane. This is essentially getting our heart and head on the same page, especially after that very deep, very intense transformation that took place with that Plutonian energy. Suddenly now we are feeling whole again. We're feeling on the same page. We are feeling like we are in alignment with our purpose, with our path. We might not even know what that is, but we feel good about the moment. We feel good about the vibe, about about the energy. And it's a good thing because this is about the time in the day where the moon goes void of course. And as I mentioned earlier, very quick transit, moving from the Capricorn energy into the Aquarian energy. The last aspect that we even have in the day is the moon in Aquarius, making a very beautiful, beautiful, harmonious energy interaction with Chiron, the wounded healer. So we do have the emotional detachment from the moon in Aquarius. We do have the futuristic, higher intellectual understanding from that Aquarian energy. And we have Chiron, the wounded healer, showing us where it is that we have essentially just gone through a very deep healing process, where it is that we are feeling lighter, where it is that we're feeling more free, where it is that we are seeing the shift in the pain and the suffering that has been very weighted in our physical bodies for quite some time. This is a beautiful way to end the day. This is a beautiful setup for tomorrow's energy, and it is a very promising vibration for us to be in as we move into the last week, as we approach this new moon in Aries, which essentially pops off Aries season. Again, we're still under the influence of the Piscean energy, which is very, very much connected to the shadow part, to the endings, to the closure, to the death of certain elements and aspects and identities within ourselves. So you best believe that this next week is going to be truly transformative, truly enlightening, and definitely shifting the energy within us to prepare us for this brand new beginning.